Peace and love, world. Peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy Malik Kalam, also known as DonKalam.com. And I'm in the building with the one and only Chifa and Newell. Just letting you know that prosperity is your birthright, man. I'm not a licensed attorney or a tax expert. We do this for educational, informational purposes only, all right? If you want to contact me, you can call me or text me directly at 407-274-5161. Again, that's 407-274-5161. And just before we get started, I'm gonna play a quick little video just to prime you for life of a self for the things that we're about to discuss. So I hope you enjoy. Why I played the video is to prime you, life of a self, to let you know what's really going on with things around you, because you know about cells. They teach you a little bit, but they really don't teach you enough. 50 trillion cells and atoms and vibrations is what actually makes you up. So this is what they control, and it does correlate with the law aspect. So what we're going to go over today is how law works really, and how it's divided, with maritime law, which is its own language, contract law, which is its own language, canon law, ecclesiastical law, that's what these judges have to go by, and even international law, as they're all their own language. It's language that actually gives them jurisdiction over these cells. That's why it's important to know what a cell is and just know about it truly. So, how they control your cells in the courtroom is through words. But you've already been pre-programmed already through the food you eat and ingest, through the medicine you take, through the music, certain things that control you already, that already direct your cells, that correlate with this language that you perceive that you think is English, all right? It's really Babel. They've been studying sales documented with their modern science for over 100 years, all right? So they keep a lot about cellular information from the public because under international law, you're considered dead. The straw man name you believe you are, the all capitalized name, you're considered dead. And no dead person can see or speak of life. They cannot make any contract with your God or your higher power. That's what they're saying when you're dead. You're this all capitalized name. You're under a corporation. You don't know who your higher power is because you're operating as property. So they do this with the use of our language, truly. So the words that we're using that we think are English, that we're programmed in the public education system, is truly Babel, all right? And this is how they get you switched off, or something called stand down, or to stand under their jurisdiction, so you have no access to your subconscious. And like I said, it's due to the words you're using. And this keeps you from your higher power, your higher self. And this is basically what it is, because once you start learning legalese, you'll understand what a bill of lading is. That's what a birth certificate is. It's a bill of lading to them, all right? That's what makes you property starting off. That's what gives them true control under admiralty law, what a bill of lading is. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention at first. That stuff makes sense. Like with the it starts with the cells, because everything starts on a spiritual level first. Everything is energy. That's what they ask you, do you understand your charge? And with Freemasonry, and this is what I really want to go over today, on how it affects the courtroom. So we already know that the so-called Freemasons, or some people call Illuminati, which Illuminati means enlightened one, all right? So know this. Not all Freemasons are bad. There's the Freemasons that goes to the lodge down the street, he's probably a good guy, knows nothing about this. These are higher ups, 33 degrees and up. Freemasons, they know about these things. But you only have to be of a lower degree for them to start assisting and helping you. So Freemasonry and Eastern Stars, by definition, are a secret society or a secret fraternity, all right? And they use a system of communication to identify its members towards obtaining different treatments in business. I'll go ahead and pull out my notes right here and put them in front of me. So it's important to know why Freemasonry works in the court system. They take an oath. I will keep worthy brothers Master Mason's secret oath when communicated or to receive to me as such as murder and treason accepted. Freemasons are the ones who kind of sculpted and crafted the courtroom with sacred geometry, all right? So using their words alone can actually help you get out the system, because whether you realize it or not, you're considered a Freemason. If you went to the public education system, you're considered a Mason. And they always swear they're not going to talk bad about each other. But everything is spelling. Everything is curved lines or dots, spell casting. That's why it's magic and it's sacred geometry and considered an art of manipulation, as their simple words and forms can get you to act with free will and getting you to the degree that you understand. It's called higher learning for a reason. So one must always learn how to remove all planes and all boxes from the courtroom, as the judge is always on a higher plane than you. So you got to learn how to appoint him as an honor-bound, duty-bound fiduciary and demand. Once your status is updated and they can hear you on the record, remove all planes and all boxes from this courtroom. This is a level playing field. Demand it, because this is your court. Of course, there's a lot of secret handshakes, certain things you could say, like I was hoping to get a square deal, Your Honor. You know, things like that. I hear I can get a square deal here. You say that at a car lot, things like that. I see that you're a traveling man. So I am. I travel from west to east and from east to west again. And he might ask, why did you leave the west and travel to the east? You don't know, in search of which was lost. That's all you even need to know. In the courtroom, say, "Oh Lord, my God, is there no help for the widow's son?" Let them know. "Oh Lord, my God, is there no help for the widow's son?" This is a distress signal in the courtroom. There's a lot more to it that you gotta really study and understand, but this is the beginning of it. And what I have you brought up is on FreeMason. It's a good site to start with court, all right? When you want to start learning about court. And I'll put the link below. FreeMason or something called Writs of Freedom. I don't necessarily agree with everything that's on the page, but it's a great place to start, all right? So they let you know. When asked, do you understand in court? Know that this question in its terminology is a lawful question. Answering it yes means that you stand under the jurisdiction and therefore submit to their jurisdiction. At that point, they realize you are not submitting because you have answered no, I don't understand. Then they turn the question into a comprehensive question, which suggests that you need a psychological evaluation sometimes because you don't understand. So if this ever happens to you, do never be worried about it because it's still fraud. They're just attempting to flip the script. The answer to that is I object. I'm not suffering from constitutional, psychopathic inferiority. So what is constitutional, psychopathic inferiority? Because I used it in the last video. Individuals who show a lifelong and constitutional tendency not to conform to the customs of the group and who have habitually misbehave and have no sense of responsibility to the fellow man and society as a whole. These individuals fail to learn by experience and are inadequate and incapable and inefficient. So per this definition, many of us have and still do in fact suffer from constitutional psychopathic inferiority. What made it make sense for me too with RV publications because it is paper terrorism and frivolous claims from the government. When you start learning these are curved lines and dots, when you start learning these are sacred geometry, when you start learning the truth and the history and the origin of where the actual English language comes from. If you have relied on prior decisions of the Supreme Court, you have the perfect defense for willfulness. This is U.S. versus Bishop, 412 U.S. 346. This says, we the people are not anti-government. There exist many so-called government entities that are in fact anti-government. We support and encourage and support the North American Republic Constitution for the United States of America. 402. State governments are but trustees acting under a derived authority. So their oath is their public obligation. There's more case law as the court is to protect against any encroachments of constitutional secured liberties. So whether they have or haven't taken an oath, they are bound by the laws of the land, as are the people. And if they are sitting in the seats of the government, public officials of the court, they're violating the established law when they are impersonating an officer of the court, impersonating a government official, a public official, or impersonating a trustee. The reason why they're trustees is because the United States Constitution is an express trust, so they're a trustee for this express trust called the United States Constitution for the United States Corporation. So they're impossible, therefore they can be charged and found guilty of treason, which is highly penal, all right? So they have to take an oath that they're in a public seat, and they have to put it on the record. Now with attorneys, once you become a client of an attorney, then you also become a ward of the court. A lawyer is a lawman or a layman. And a civilian is one who's skilled in the law. Therefore, one as an attorney is not necessarily who's one and skilled in the law. Things are considered simplified when one says in layman terms, meaning in lawman's terms. The law resides with and within you, as you are the law. A good question to ask yourself is, what is an attorney at law? It's just what it states, one who is practicing law. It donates color law, which a color law is a semblance of what is real but is not law. Law is common to all. There is no license to practice law or to exercise your right. There is no such thing as a licensed attorney. He or she may have a bar association membership card, but there's not a license. The definition above is in proper persona or a proper person, natural person brings forth the truth regarding the attorney. So you have to be in proper person to even bring forth the truth about an attorney. So truthfully, an attorney is a bounty hunter with a suit and tie on. He brings you before the court and leaves you there. Thus, the court has leave over you. Another way of saying they have jurisdiction over you. An attorney is an officer of the court. Thus, his obligation is and always will be to the court first and not to you. To add insult to injury or to the corruption, the court he is obligated to is actually de facto court, a colorable court operating in collusion and in color law. This is more reason why you cannot utilize an attorney. Attorney speaks for inanimate objects such as corporations who cannot speak for themselves. He or she possesses a bar association card, which is a membership card. It's not a license. Besides, a license to practice law does not exist, as well as a license or permission to do something that is otherwise unlawful. Utilizing an attorney admits you to their jurisdiction, which is absolutely inferior. They have no jurisdiction over you. They are inferior courts, and as such they possess no delegation authority because legislation does not give administrative courts judicial power. We have been duped from the get-go. So, if you look up Article 3 of the Constitution, Article 3 of the Articles of Confederation, judicial powers, Supreme Court has power over the courts and judicial power. And the Supreme Court may, from time to time, ordain and establish inferior courts. So they have to get permission from Congress or the Superior Court. Now, like I say in a lot of other videos, writing is spelling or spell casting or casting spells. And this is what's being executed on the masses for the domination and control. Conversation runs the nation so they can save the physical force. And this is cloaked behind the act of making offers to coerce you towards making a commitment that you don't have to make. This makes the intent of domination easier. Failing to respond to law indicates that things stand because there's no rebuttal, there's no response. This is why often you are given 10 days or so to respond. The offers that are made to you, do not have to be accepted by you. However, you must respond to those offers in writing. Although the written documents you receive or that are placed before you to sign may be written with an air or authority, it does not mean that the agency or association who wrote them to you is the authority or holds authority over you. One must prove such authority to you. Upon that proper request for them to prove this authority, you will find the authority they appear to does not exist. It's just an appearance of an authority. You can make them prove it on the record. So writs are a matter of lawful correspondence. In fact, always head everything as an affidavit, not a motion. A motion gives them the option to refuse it because you're asking for the court to move. As it is in most corporate or social membership meetings, a motion needs to be seconded, and if not, it does not stand. You must respond to corresponding law in writing with affidavits, as is an affidavit of fact or an affidavit of truth. Then choose your subheading as it relates to the matter you are dealing with. An example, demand for dismissal, which a demand means assertion of a legal right. Summary judgment, cause of action, right of action, judicial notice, written nature of discovery, bills of particular, name read proclamation, things of such as these nature. So when a ticket or a summons is a suit against you, you must counter it lawfully. Although it has been presented unlawfully, because the person who brings suit against you cannot serve you too. They can't be in the witness and for prosecution. Many hats a simple policeman, policy enforcer, bill collector wears while his actions are in violation of separation of powers. By doing so, he is acting unlawfully in both his profession and personal capacity and is acting under the color of office and color of law. Often, particularly regarding traffic, officers are acting as collection agencies or collection agents for other agencies that are taking action against you for a supposed debt or failure to pay a contract that doesn't lawfully exist. Usually a surcharge, which in itself is an unlawful impost. Therefore, at the moment of hindering you from traveling, he is acting as an agent for an agency and not as a public trustee. This is the game that has been used against the people to exploit them for also violating their rights. So there is law which is proper, and then there is color law, a semblance of which is real yet is not real. Then they practice daily upon the masses. There's a corporate person, and then there's the living person, the living soul, the live man or woman. So a man or a woman can be injured, and when injured, remedy exists. In fact, unless there's an injured party, there's no violation because the court for you to seek remedy for it. You can only either injure a body, you can only injure property, or a breach of contract. Anything outside of this, it violates your rights to be left alone if you freely wish to be, provided you do not violate anyone else's rights to do the same. Yet a fictitious person or corporation cannot be injured. There are two different persons at law, and you must know the difference and know which one you are not. So a corporation is a person, a corporate person, then you are a man or a woman, all right? In law, it's called civil leader mortis, meaning dead in the eyes of the law, and there is in full life. Thus one has rights, which are preserved in law and in the Constitution. And you have to accept it. That's all it's about. You have to accept it and file the correct motions and file the correct forms and learn the language. It's important to learn the language. I've been working on some stuff all day with Chief and New L. We've been working on a couple cases today. A lot of stuff's been new to you. The different affidavits and the different exhibits that I've been showing you. Is there anything you would like to say on anything you've been learning or what you're going through?
I would just say when you're doing all this paperwork, just to make sure that you really are able to pay attention and read, making sure that you understand everything that's going on, because you don't want to sit there and file these affidavits and do all this.
You have to speak up. Since we've been working on today we've been working on a lot of different affidavits and different exhibits concerning admiralty law, and what they're trying to say is a criminal case with no accuser or no injured party. What would you like to tell the world on the different things you've been learning today?
I would say when you're filling out these affidavits and you're writing things out, making sure that you're understanding everything or overstanding everything that you're reading. That way when you do go to court or you do have to face, the judge or whatever, the prosecutor, whoever you have to go see, is making sure that you understand everything and that you are fully aware and knowledgeable of what you actually are putting in the affidavit. That way it'll look like you know what you're actually talking about versus just filling something out and just saying, oh, here I'm presenting this information to the court. I think that's really important.
What I think is important is, first off, just declaring that you've already won. The word utter and the word outer have the same root means. What you utter becomes outer around you. It's my main mission and my main goal to teach people that it starts in the mind first. It starts in the thought realm first. Now, there is such thing as karma, so you can't get around everything, but you've paved this way. You've led yourself every step of the way, so why are you leading yourself to this situation? What is it that you're here to learn, all right? So learn what you're supposed to learn so you can get past it, and so you don't, because it's new levels, new devils. You're just going to attract something different. So a lot of y'all out here just walking around soulless. Y'all don't have no soul. You're not in tune with your higher self, your higher power. You don't believe in nothing greater than yourself. In order to gain a newfound freedom, because freedom is a freedom, a state of mind, you have to be able to see yourself free. And why do you deserve freedom? What are you going to do with your newfound freedom? What are you going to give back to humanity? Because it's all about scales and balances, all right? Your higher power don't know. It sees no evil, hears no evil, speaks no evil. They're going off who's going to do the most, who's going to put forth the most work, who's going to put forth the most action for humanity. So always reach back and give your brother, man, or your sister a hand up once you learn this stuff. Charity starts at home. And keep putting that work within you, because it's important to keep pushing forth who you are. Keep spreading this message and spreading love. Love conquers everything, so know who you are. So tell yourself you revoke these contracts in the mirror. Let them know you revoke the contracts that you didn't enter into willingly or voluntarily. Build this relationship with your higher self and higher power. Write it down. Write and writ are the same thing, all right? Write and writ. You write in your destiny. You're written in a way. You are your creator. So Never understand the charges. Never worry about it, because the time's always now. So you can always go back. It's called nunc pro tunc. Nunc pro tunc. Say it again, nunc pro tunc. It's a Latin word. You can always go back. It means now for then. So you can always go back. But the affidavits and the demands and the exhibits that we file, those are for the public side. There's a public and then there's a private side. So you can't even offset with a credit until there's a debit. So you create the debit with the affidavits. You create the currency with the affidavits and the bonds, all right? And the standard forms. And then you file the 1099, then you assess the tax. It's important to assess those taxes. 1099s and W-9s, make them your best friend. Even 1040V forms. And that's really all there is to it, besides getting an understanding of yourself, getting an understanding of the tax codes, uniform commercial codes, and really knowing what you're dealing with. It's not just going to come to you easily without you putting forth the time within yourself and gaining clarity within yourself. Putting forth the study time. You can't just try to learn it last minute. It's not just going to come to you last minute. So sometimes you are going to have to walk by faith. So get that relationship with yourself right now. Get that relationship with your higher power right now. Because that's what they're here to do, is to break that bond between you and your higher power. Now, a lot of people are not going to understand this and overstand this. Your life is your own movie. It's your own play. You're directing it. All right? So we're the true creators. We're the republic. We're the earth. All right? They're trying to invoke water on the earth, on the land. They're the ones creating separation. So all lands on earth used to be one. So when you go to court, it's like a play. You say you understand those charges, you're invoking water to earth. You create separation between the lands. This is important to know. It's like some real flooding the earth, Noah's Ark stuff. And you can't tell me that I'm a lie, because when you watch a scary movie, don't you get scared? So your subconscious, your spirit, when it's going through these plays and these daily rituals, it doesn't know that it's not actually going through these things, because you're not trapped in sin, you're trapped in skin. With that, I'm out. I hope this makes sense to y'all, man. If y'all need my guidance, y'all can reach me directly at 407-274-5161. Again, that's 407-274-5161. Or you can go to donkalam.com. Peace and love, world. I do this for y'all, man. Prosperity is your birthright. Just declare that you're a winner daily. Declare that you're going to be a positive force in this universe. Declare that you are who you are. I am that I am. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Create your own prosperity. Create your own visualization. Know you're the truth. All right? Know that you're a winner. If it harm's done, you can do what you want. So as long as you didn't hurt nobody, you can always do what you want. So don't worry about it. Just start building that relationship with your higher self. Building that relationship with your higher power. And telling yourself that it's going to be all right, that you're a winner. That I'm out. Peace.